mechanics of that misunderstanding or that conflict is all about. And it will help us if we understand a little bit of how to get through complex situations or conflict situations. And there's a wonderful acronym I came up against this week, which is amazing. It's called VUCA. So VUCA. Now with VUCA, when we start off in an argument or a conflict situation, it's generally very volatile. It builds quite quickly. We move into it. Often we go into that conflict situation having preordained this huge conflict experience that we're about to have. What we need to be able to do is to be able to take a step back and move and have a vision as to how we want this situation to go. So yes, we go in, tempers are raised, it's, we volatile as hell, there's a lot of volatility. And if we know what we want out of this interaction and how we want to move it forward without escalating it beyond all measure, we need to have that vision. So if you know you're going into a highly volatile situation, really just pre-think it through. See how you want that interaction to end. So for the V of VUCA is moving from volatility to your vision. We then have U, which is uncertainty, starts for uncertainty. So with the uncertainty is we don't know how this is going to end. We've got a volatile situation. We're uncertain of the outcome of what's happening and what will happen. And what we need to do is have an understanding that we aren't certain of where this is going to go to. And by understanding the process and by understanding the dynamics and what we've already spoken about, the volatility moving to vision, the uncertainty moving into an understanding, this will all help us in a conflict situation. The next part is C, and I've used this word a lot, complexity. Any sort of conflict situation is a very complex negotiation that we get into. And very often, and this is quite a big one, and I want to talk a little bit in more depth around this. When we enter a conflict situation, the complexities around those conflicts are often unknown to us. So if you in an adverse position to somebody, you don't really know or understand how they are entering into this negotiation. You don't know what has affected them in order to react the way they have been reacting. So around that, we don't understand the complexities. So we need to be very sure of ourselves. And this part of the C, so we have complexity, we need to be certain, we need to have certainty. We need to have certainty within ourselves. We have to be certain of what it is that's driving us, what has made us angry in this situation, why are we angry, what are the external factors, the external factors that are forcing us into this conflict. And if we have certainty around that, we can then probably stand back a little bit and look at the complexities from our adversary's point of view a little bit. It's really, really important to be able to do that. And finally, the A, moving from ambiguity, because it's an ambiguous situation. It's volatile, it's uncertain, and it's complex. So it's ambiguous. We need to have the agility, the freedom to negotiate our way through this sort of misunderstanding. And by being agile in a conflict situation, by being able to see the other person's point of view, by being able to understand possibly what's driving them to be so hostile, to understand what's driving you to be hostile in the situation, is a huge, huge bonus. So let me just go through it again. We've got VUCA, volatility moving into vision, uncertainty moving to understanding, complexity moving to certainty, and ambiguity moving to agility. Now, if we're able to maneuver ourselves within that sort of sphere, to understand what's driving us to be so angry, to get in there, are we perhaps just dogmatic in our approach and we're going to win no matter what, and no matter what the casualties are in this complex situation? Well, I mean, that's generally not a good way for to have any conflict resolution. But it does assist, by understanding the VUCA principle, it does assist you to understand yourself and why are you doing that. You know, there's so many, we live in such uncertain times, ambiguous times, complex times, all of these things, that it's really, really important that when we enter into any form of negotiation, any form of a conflicted situation, we need to be able to understand from an internal point of view what it is that's driving us. This will make us feel so much happier and so give us the ability to really, really handle situations where in the past we may have handled them incredibly badly. I'm Chris Avon Smith. This has been Focus Forward, and I'll see you next week.